Okay, there we go. All right, so let's begin on hands and knees today. Come onto your hands and your knees in table. And just work a little bit with your palms. You can really start to warm up your wrists and your forearms however you like. But one of the ways I like to do it is just by kind of leaning left to right, warming up the wrists and the arms with some weight, pressing into one side and then the other. And as I do this, I try to press through the entire hand like a wave. So I'm pressing into the heel of the hand, the bases of the fingers, and then even the fingertips. So you may want to slow this down a little bit to catch all those different parts of the hand. And then you can start to turn the hand so the fingertips point in towards each other, a little or a lot. And the same thing, you're pushing through all those different parts of the palm unless it hurts. And then turn outward. So now your fingertips are pointing away from each other. And to me, it feels better to stay more in the fingertips in this variation. It can sometimes be a little too much on the wrists. And then finally, we're going to flip the palm. So your palms are facing up and the fingertips point in towards each other. And maybe you send your hips back a little bit as you do this so there's less weight. And you just get a nice stretch through the forearms. And here you might press into both palms and then do a little squeeze and release. Now I know I've mentioned before that if grip and forearm strength is an issue for you, that you'd like to strengthen and mobilize the wrists and the forearms, you can use sand. You can get sand at Home Depot or, preferably go to a beach and stick your hands down into the sand and just squish them around, making fists and releasing within the sand. But I also just read a good mention, this is a cheap way to do it at home, get a bucket and fill it with rice. So a cheap bag of rice is something that you can also mobilize to help warm up the hands in the morning or before you practice yoga or garden, to get that blood flowing and to get a little strength as you feel the resistance of the sand or the rice to your grip as you move through it. Good for preventing arthritis as well. So now, once you've got your hands warmed up, come into your table and exhale into your cat. Inhale, lift your tail, send your heart forward into your cow. 2 more times. Warm up the breath. And bring your spine to neutral. Push the floor away and create the cat spine with just your upper back, just the shoulder blades apart and together. Apart and together. Yeah. Couple more times, keeping the neck and the lower back as stable as possible. Only the upper back moves. And then bring that upper back to neutral. So the pelvis, the low back, and the upper back are all in neutral. And now move only the head. We're going to move the head 2 different ways. So first way is the more familiar way, lifting the chin and then tucking the chin. And this is pretty challenging to not move the pelvis or the low back as you lift the chin and tuck the chin. Only through your pain-free range of movement. One more time. Everything else stays stable as you lift the chin and tuck the chin. But now we're going to keep the chin tucked and move the head and neck a different way. Drop your head towards the floor. Pull your head away from the floor. Drop the whole head towards the floor and then retract it. Pull it away from the floor. Now you can keep going just like this, or you can make the head retraction a little harder with a stretchy band or a towel behind your head. So if you choose this option, you're putting the band or the towel behind your head and then trapping it under your palms. So it's easy to glide your head towards the floor, but it's more challenging now to retract the head. Easy to drop it towards the floor, but really press to retract your head. And remember, we're no longer lifting and lowering the chin. We're only dropping and retracting the head. Yeah. So when you retract, really retract. Chin stays close to your chest, but the back of your head feels like it's pushing into the ceiling. Mm-hmm. Good. One more time. Dropping the head and then retracting the head. Make it feel like you're pressing the back of your skull into the ceiling. And then slowly release. Now, if you're using the band, bring it with you and grab something like a block or a heavy book and press it into a wall. You can also do this on the floor, but I think you'll get a better sensation if you press into a wall. Now you can stay up on your knees or take a lunge here, whatever you like. But press this right hand into the block and the wall. Keep the block in place as you work just the right shoulder blade. So the shoulder blade pushes away from your spine and then towards the spine. Away and towards. And in fact, use your free hand, use your left hand to feel your front ribs. So you know your rib cage is not lifting or lowering, it's not shifting or doing any of that. You're keeping your core pretty stable as you bring shoulder blade towards the spine, shoulder blade away, towards and away. Yep. So it's just this little movement. And I'll show you from the back. Shoulder blade away and towards. Away and towards. And once you've warmed up the shoulder blade, and notice your arm is not bending for this. You're keeping that arm straight. You're keeping your core engaged. Now we'll add a little twist. So as you bring the shoulder blade towards the spine, keep your chest squared to your wall. But as you push the shoulder blade away, open up to the left. Give it a little twist. Take it towards, and then push and twist. Yeah, there you go. Now use your left hand to feel those oblique abdominals helping you twist. Yes. Inhale as you turn towards the wall. Exhale, push the block away and twist to the left. Feel those obliques. Inhale. Exhale, push the block and twist. Good. Keep breathing. Now, optional, we're going to take it one step further and step the left foot forward. Straighten that right arm. Good. Now you've done this one with me before. Reach your left arm forward. There's no block in your left hand. You're going to push that block away. Brace your core. Take this left arm up by your ear and open into your twist. That's it. Inhale, bring it all the way back. Exhale, brace the core, push into the wall, and then inhale, reach that left arm up and over. Use your exhale to finish that twist. Good. Take your time, taking as many breaths as you like to brace the core, push the block, and then open into your twist. Feel what your shoulder blades do as you move through the twist. So to hold your last twist here, pushing the wall away, getting long through the torso, opening into the twist, and then take your block off the wall by moving your right shoulder blade. So you can remove it and put it back. Remove it and put it back. Yes. Good. 2 more. Just that shoulder blade moves. Feel that action. Good. And then slowly take it down. Now, to retract the head again, you can either put your hands behind your head or use that stretchy band behind your head. And in this position, you're again gliding your head closer to your wall and then retracting the head. Glide the head closer to the wall and then retract. And I'm exaggerating a little bit so you can see the movement. I'd like it if you would keep your pelvis and your rib cage as stable as possible, so it's only the head gliding towards your wall and only the head and neck retracting. Whether you're using your hands or a band, make sure the head actually moves back a little, and when it hits a good point where it feels like it's well aligned, you continue to isometrically press the head back into your palms or into your band. Take one more deep breath here. Now, as you exhale, twist your rib cage to the left. Keep retracting your head. You can keep your band or your hands behind your head, or you can slowly open up those arms as you breathe. Feel your legs stabilizing you. Your core is keeping the pelvis and the low back pretty neutral. And then your rib cage is turning to the left and your head is retracting. Beautiful. As you exhale, slowly unwind it all. And let's bring both knees back down to the floor. This time we'll bring a block up to the wall with the left hand. So we're starting with just the action of this left shoulder blade. The left arm stays straight. And when you're ready, push that block away. Feel your left shoulder blade move away from your spine. And then drag that left shoulder blade closer to your spine. So for now, don't let your rib cage turn. Put your right hand on your ribs so you can feel that stability. All that's happening is your left shoulder blade moving. And that winds up kind of pushing you away from the wall a little and then guiding you closer to the wall. Yeah, so as much as possible, the pelvis, the ribs, and the head all stay in one long aligned line. So sometimes it's helpful to put the right hand on the ribs, feel them stabilizing. Sometimes it's helpful to put the right hand on the left shoulder blade and feel that moving. Yeah. And then add in a little twist. So now, as you push the wall away, twist your rib cage a little to the right. And then bring it all back to the wall. Push the block away, twist your rib cage right, feel those obliques starting to work. And it's a pretty small movement. We're just adding a little turn of the rib cage to become more aware of each of these isolated actions as they come together in our yoga postures. When you're ready, you'll take that right foot forward. Pad the knees any way you like. Or if you need to, just get up out of this kneeling lunge, come up to a standing lunge if that feels better to the knees. We're just keeping it simple here. As you push the block away, twist your rib cage to the right. Feel these obliques twisting you. Feel your lower abdomen keeping your pelvis and your legs stable. And whenever you like, you can start to add in that right arm. Reach it forward, and then up, and then open it up as you twist, pushing the block away. Use your breath. Find a little soft ujjayi sound. Breathing in and out through the nose. Noticing anything different about the way the twist feels on this side. And the next time you hold this twist, take your block off the wall. So your left shoulder blade again starts to move towards the spine to take the block off the wall, and towards, rather away from your spine to put the block on the wall. So you feel that left shoulder blade once again initiating the only real action here. And then slowly bring the block down. Come back up to your lunge. Again, this could be any lunge. You can stay kneeling or come up to a high lunge or a warrior. We're working with the head retraction now. So with or without your band, lots of options today. The band might help you get a little resistance, makes it easier to pull the head forward, and then it gives you something to push into as you press your head back where it belongs. If you're using your hands, let your arms create the resistance. So your deep neck flexors have to do a little bit of work to draw the head back. Try this a few times in this lunge, gliding the head forward, and then using some neck muscles to press it back. The next time you bring your head and neck back where it belongs, add a little twist to the right. Any arm position you like. Sometimes it's helpful to keep the band or the head behind, rather the band or the hand behind your head to keep retracting the head here so the head does not wind up craning forward or over twisting. 2 more slow breaths, holding your twist with the head retraction. And then slowly unwind. Take a big step all the way up to standing. And let's come over to some wall space or a heavy piece of furniture that lets you push your hips into it. Legs are parallel here, and your knees are a little bit bent. So we're going to start with the knees a little bit bent, leaning back into the wall. Bring your arms out to goal post. Yeah. Now, if you want to make this more challenging for the legs, you'll slide down into more of a wall sit. We're going to focus on the upper body for a moment And just slide those elbows down by your ribs, keeping elbows and hands close to the wall. And then slide them back up to goalpost. Good, a few times. Exhale, slide them down. Spine stays neutral. Inhale, slide them up. Exhale, slide. See if you can feel your shoulder blades moving a little. And up. One more time. Notice if one shoulder blade does something different from the other. Just observe. Good. Now slide back up that wall. Keep just a little bend in your knees and keep your spine neutral as you begin to fold forward. So, you see me from the side, my knees are a little bit bent, but my spine is not rounding. Keeping that spine neutral as I fold. Keep pressing those sitting bones back into the wall, lifting the shoulders away from the floor. Good, now can you retract the head, taking it away from the floor, up towards the ceiling. Now slowly come all the way back upright, neutral spine the whole way. Straighten your legs just a little bit more. So now your legs are just barely bent. Fold forward, keep the sitting bones pressing into the wall, just like we did before. Neutral spine. When you get to a point where you start to feel a stretch, pause, breathe here. Keep lifting your shoulders. And then look down at your toes and flex one foot. So you're lifting that one foot. There we go. Lifting that one foot so only the heel is left on the floor. Drive that heel down into the floor, spread the toes apart. Notice if it's easier to flex through the baby toe side or the big toe side. And then switch, put that foot down, flex the other foot. If it feels impossible, maybe you wiggle your feet a little further away from the wall, get a little more room. And then again, notice, is the big toe or the baby toe side a little easier to flex? And then set that foot down. Now you can keep going one foot at a time, flexing and then setting that foot down, or flex both feet. It's a little more challenging. I can feel my sitting bones slide a little on the wall as I flex. Each time you flex one or both feet, spread the toes out. Try to flex the baby toe side just as much as the big toe side. Good, and then add just a little more to this. After you flex, put your foot down, use your fingertips on the wall if it's helpful, and roll all the way to the ball of the foot, lifting the heel. Roll all the way back to the heel. Yeah, so bend and straighten your legs as much or as little as you need to. Yep, as you roll all the way through the feet. Keep pressing the sitting bones and maybe also the fingertips into the wall. There we go. One more time. Next, slowly come all the way up. Back into your wall sit. One more time, we'll work with the arms. So bring your spine to neutral, and you can stay up or go down lower to work the legs a little more. This time, pressing your head into the wall, turn to look at your right elbow and rotate from the elbow. Elbow stays where it is, forearm drops. Bring it back up. Now slowly pressing your head back into the wall, turn and look to the left elbow. Same thing, rotate. There we go. Inhale back through center. Good. 2 more times on each side. Head presses into the wall as you rotate. Watching that elbow stay where it is. Nice slow breath. And then release, coming away from the wall. Find mountain at the top of your mat. Anchor your heels. You can have your blocks available if you like them, but find your mountain pose with heels pressing down. Notice if your hips start out in front of your heels, then you'll have to glide them back a little bit. If your head starts out in front of your heels, retract your head. And then take 3 slow breaths here in mountain. On your next inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale as you fold forward, bending the knees. Imagine you're pressing your sitting bones back into that wall. Press your sitting foot bones so far back into that wall that your shins stay perpendicular to the floor. Yeah, you can see most of your feet. Your knees are way back. That's it. Good. Now, hands can reach forward or touch the blocks as you roll through your feet, just like we did before. It's a little harder without the wall. Play with that balance. And if any part of the movement feels like strain, you don't need to do that part. Move through your pain-free range of movement, digging into the heels, slowly rolling to the ball of the foot. One more time, all the way through that foot. Beautiful. And now step that right foot back. Put the heel down at the back of your mat. Find a little calf stretch here. You may be able to feel that calf stretch especially well because we've been engaging those calf muscles. So reach that right heel down. Lift and spread the right toes. That's it. If blocks are too low, go ahead and put your hands up on an ottoman or a couch or a wall so your spine can stay nice and neutral. 2 more deep breaths. And then slowly begin to rise. We're coming all the way up to warrior 1. Your hips are mostly squared towards the front of your mat, but they have a little bit of a turn to the right so that you can really anchor that right outer heel and lighten up your right toes. And then if you bring your hands up to your front ribs, it's your rib cage that fully and completely squares to the front of your mat. And then we're taking, let's see, right hand behind the head to retract that head. Yes. Inhale, left arm up to the sky. So here's our variation on warrior 1 today. The head keeps driving back into your palm. Your right heel anchors. Your right glute is engaged to help you anchor that heel. The breath is deep. Now, as you exhale, lean forward. Keep pressing your head back into your hand. It gets harder as you get lower here. And create one long line from your back heel all the way out through those front fingertips. Take 2 deep breaths, still retracting the head away from the floor. Beautiful. Now slowly bring your fingertips down to your props. Lift that back heel, slowly rotating the whole leg. So the right heel lifts up. That's it. You can keep this right knee lifted or lower it down at any point during this sequence, because now we're going to twist. So your right hand stays on a block or on the mat. Inhale, sweep that left arm up and out into your twist. Yeah. Now exhale, take your left arm to your front ribs. And again, let them help you twist your rib cage to the left. But your navel keeps twisting down towards the floor. Yeah, good. So your rib cage is twisting left. Your head is retracting. We can use this top hand for any of these sort of self-adjustments, self-assists. Twisting the rib cage left, or put it behind your head to retract, or reach that top arm behind your back. There, and now you're working that internal rotation on the left arm, and you can feel yourself breathe. Breathe a little deeper into your back body so you feel it in that left arm. Good, one more deep breath here. Now look down at that right block or just the hand, right? Imagine you're picking up a block and putting that right shoulder blade closer to your spine, and then put it back down. So I'm doing it visibly. Yours can be invisible. But draw that right shoulder blade towards your spine, lightening up that right hand. Ooh, it's a lot of work. And then slowly bring it all down. Step forward and fold. Gratefully getting some weight out of that left leg. If it's useful, roll again from the heel to the ball of the foot. And definitely imagine your sitting bones pressing back into a wall. This will help keep your shins more perpendicular to the floor. When you're ready, find that neutral spine, open up the chest. And we're stepping the left foot back this time. Anchor that back heel. Find your calf stretch first. So the left heel presses down. The left toes lift and widen. So if you don't feel this as a calf stretch, you might have to bring your left foot further back. Or, you know, if you're really getting mobile in the calf, you might have to put something underneath your left foot to let that left heel drop down lower. Like a rolled up towel. Block is a little too big, but a rolled up towel will do it. Yeah, just elevate the ball of the foot a little so the heel can drop down lower. And then when you're ready, we're anchoring that left heel and slowly coming all the way up to our warrior one. And remember, the pelvis is not perfectly squared to the front of your mat. It's a little bit open to the left, but your rib cage can square to the front of your mat because your abdominals give you that little bit of twist. Anchor that back heel using that left glute, and then using your core to square your rib cage to the front. We'll take the left hand behind the head today to glide the head back. Keep it retracted. And then reach that right arm up for warrior one. Breathe in all the way around your spine. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Continue this steady breath as you feel the anchoring of that left heel. The give and take of the core muscles as you breathe. And from here, that core has to work a little harder as you lean the torso and the arm forward. So you create one long line from the heel to the fingertips, but keep retracting your head. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Wonderful. Bring your hands to your props or your wall or your floor. Gradually lift that back heel so your legs are parallel now. You can keep them like this, or you can drop that back knee down, whichever you prefer for your twist. So left hand stays down now. Right arm sweeps up and over to help you twist. And then you've got all those variations using your right arm. Maybe place it on your front ribs and let it help you twist the rib cage up towards the sky. Or maybe take that right hand behind your head again. Retract the head and the neck. Give yourself these self-assists, and when you're ready, internally rotate that right arm, wrap it behind your back. And wherever it rests, low back, middle back, hip, wherever it goes, feel your breath. Expand a little into your head. When you're done, look down at your left hand. If you've got a prop there, then you're going to lift it as you bring your left shoulder blade closer to your spine. But this can be imaginary. Just imagine lightening up that left hand, bringing the left shoulder blade towards the spine and away. Give it a few more breaths here. Just moving the shoulder blade, but everything else is working. And then slowly bring it all down, step forward and fold. So now we're coming down to the ground. And if you have a couch or a bit of wall space behind you, you can use that. Set your sitting bones onto the edge of the couch or the wall and use that to slowly slide yourself down into a deep, deep squat. Probably deeper than you can get without a wall. Your legs can be together, or your legs can be apart, more like a horse stance. So as you get low, you press your back into the furniture or the wall and let yourself push back into the wall as you slide. So you can see this is a deep knee and ankle bend. Doesn't matter which one you get to, but you want to feel it deepening probably more than you can without the wall. And then slowly come all the way down when you're ready. Turn yourself around so your feet can go up on the wall or the furniture, about 90 degrees at the knees. When you're ready, exhale, press the low back down closer to the mat. Inhale, lift the low back up away from the mat. Exhale, press it down. Inhale, lift it up. One more time, exhale, press it down. Inhale, lift it up. And then find what feels like neutral for that lower back. Keep that low back in neutral as you work the head and neck. Lift the chin up. And tuck the chin in towards the chest. Notice if your low back or your pelvis tries to move as you create these small neck movements. Brace your core to avoid moving that low back as much as possible. And then bring your neck to what feels like neutral. If you need to, tuck your shoulder blades in a little closer to your spine and bring your arms out to those goalpost positions, 90 degrees on each side. Now, once again, with your spine neutral and your head and your sacrum pressed into the mat, keep pressing your head into the mat. Slowly look to your left shoulder. Press your head into the mat the whole way. So you're looking at your left shoulder and elbow, and then lift that left arm up. Take it into its internal rotation as far as it'll go. And this time, hold it there as you bring your right arm across and place your right hand at the back of your left hand and wrist. And then press so the arms are working against each other. Your left arm is trying to get out of its internal rotation. Your low back is still neutral. If it's difficult to keep your head on the floor, then elevate your hips a little bit with a blanket or a towel. And now switch the resistance. You're going to keep this left arm just like it is, but put your right hand on the palm side of it. So now it feels like your left arm is trying to go deeper into its internal rotation. Yeah, notice which of these two is more challenging for you. Getting out with resistance or going deeper into internal rotation against this resistance. And then slowly give up the resistance. Let your right arm move out to the right and let your left arm gradually come back to its goal post. So let the left arm relax here. If it's not ready to touch the mat, prop it with a towel or a blanket so it can relax. And then slowly push your head into the mat. Rotate your head to look at your right elbow. Right elbow is in its goalpost position, 90 degrees. As you watch the right shoulder and elbow, the upper arm stays put. It's rotating, but it's not moving through space as you lift that right forearm up and bring it into your internal rotation. Keep breathing here. Legs are doing very little. Your core is just keeping your low back stable and still. And then use your left hand and place it on the back of your right hand here and try to get out of your internal rotation. Keep breathing. Notice if left and right have any differences. And when you're ready, we'll switch. So your left hand now goes to the palm side of your right hand. And your right hand is trying to get closer to the mat by your hip. It's trying to internally rotate more. And notice if this is harder than or easier than trying to get out of this position. Keep an eye on that right wrist. Make sure it's not trying to flex or extend. It's just staying neutral. And then slowly give up that resistance. Take both arms out to goalposts, slowly rotating them so they can relax on the mat or on some props in their external rotation. Yeah. Now you choose whether to keep your spine neutral as you lift your hips. So try it that way this time. Keep the spine neutral as you push your feet into your wall or your heavy furniture and lift your hips a little bit into a wall bridge. Slowly keep that spine neutral as you bring it back down. Rest the hips. Your other option is to cat spine your way up. So you're going to exhale, press that low back down, tuck your tail a little bit. Find a posterior tilt of the pelvis. So it's like cat spine as you slowly squeeze the glutes more as you roll it up. And then you're going to keep that flexion or cat spine as you slowly roll it down. Now, for reduced bone density, the first option, neutral spine, is much safer and it strengthens your core in a way that keeps your low back safe. For other spinal conditions, you may also find flexion is not great and neutral low back is better. So feel it out, and knowing what you know about your own body and how it feels today, take a few more of these with either of those two methods. And for the next 4, you might take one leg up to the sky. So it's really just one leg along with your core that's helping you lift the hips into the bridge. And then very slowly putting you back down. Switch it up if you're taking the one-legged version. Keeping the legs parallel the whole time. Notice any tendency to want to take the knees apart or together. So 2 more. And then place the left foot on the floor. Extend the right leg up. Take hold behind your thigh, or you can loop your band or your towel over your foot here. So either way, holding onto the back of the leg or looping the band around your foot, bring this right leg into a position where you feel a stretch through the hamstring muscles or the calf or both. And then point that right foot and take your leg a little bit across the midline. If you feel any sensation of nerve pain or pressure or strain, then bend your knee or take your leg out of the midline until you no longer feel that. We may sometimes be what's called flossing the sciatic nerve here. So we want it to feel like a good long stretch all the way through the back of the leg and the outer hip without any sense that we're aggravating that sciatic nerve. And then as long as you don't feel any of those nerve sensations, you can really do lots of things with your right foot. You can flex it, circle it, point it. The easiest option is pointing if you do tend to feel things along that sciatic nerve. And then your final option is to cross that right leg over the left. Hug the knees in so your legs are crossed more like a lady, eagle, or cow face legs in yoga. Hug those knees in. Take a deep breath, sending that breath, that movement all the way into your hips. And then gradually drop your knees over to the left. You can put them on a prop or support them with your left hand. Then reach your right arm out to the right. Let that right shoulder relax. Steady breath here. Letting the collarbones and the shoulders release. One more good breath from the upper to the middle to the lower, expanding. And then contracting from the lower to the middle to the upper. Inhale as you bring your legs back through center and unwind. Exhale as you extend that left leg up And you can use your band or just take hold behind the thigh or the calf until you feel a stretch. Breathe into that sensation as you work with the foot here. We're going to take the leg a little across the midline and point it first. Ease up on it if what you feel like it is like a nerve sensation, electrical sensation. Bend the knee or reduce how much you're going across the midline. So there's all different options. If it all feels good and you want to explore more foot and ankle options, you're going to flex and point and maybe circle as you spread those toes. Notice how that changes things up the line. And then slowly cross left leg over right. Gradually bring your legs over to the right. Support them with your hand or prop. And when you're ready, take left arm out to the left and let that shoulder relax. Let your breath become even bigger. So you're expanding into upper, middle, and lower trunk. And then gradually compressing from lower, and then from the middle, and then from the rib cage. On your next inhalation, slowly roll to your back and set yourself up for your relaxation. You can put your legs up on the wall or the ottoman or the couch or a pile of pillows or blankets, or just let the legs stretch out on the floor today. Find a position that your body can fully relax into. Spin your biceps up to the ceiling. Let the shoulders and the arms open up to whatever angle allows them to relax. Three times, we'll take a long inhalation through the nose. Hold for a moment at the top. And literally, that could just be a brief moment. Or it could be longer if it feels good to explore that holding. And then fully exhale, longer than you have so far today. 2 more times. Inhaling, feeling that expansion to the back, left and right, front, top and bottom, 360 degrees. Hold for however long. And then let the exhalation be slow and steady. One more time, your pace, through the nose, any amount of time. And now let go of doing anything in particular with your breath. Give your body these few minutes to let it relax, not to make it relax, but to allow it. You've set up the conditions. Now let whatever happens, happen. And have a wonderful day.